Hey, welcome to the training. This is Josh Zwagil, CEO and founder of My Daily Choice. First off, I want to congratulate you for making the right choice to get started with our company. My goal in this training is to teach you exactly what you need to launch your business properly. I've been full-time in this profession since I was 18 years old. I've traveled into 40 countries, built teams into the hundreds of thousands, and with MDC, I've had the pleasure to work directly with the top leadership throughout the company. I'm taking the most critical things that I've learned and I've compiled it all into this one training so that you can unlock the fundamentals that you need to succeed. As you enroll new people into your business, you can use this training video as your foundation for launching new affiliates correctly. So let's get started. In this training, we're going to cover three main things: setting up your business, hitting your first rank, and best practices. To ensure your success in the company, pay close attention to each of these steps as they're a critical part of your journey. So let's cover setting up your business first. It's important to make sure that you set your business up for success. And there's a couple main things that I want to point out. Because this is a new business for you, it's important to at least understand how you can maximize your earnings. The best way to do that is to have enough personal volume to become what we call an executive. An executive allows you to earn 4 levels of jumpstart bonuses, 4 levels of check matching, and 15% in binary commissions. So the point is you don't want to leave any money on the table as you get going. In the United States, being an executive is as easy as having 200 BV or business volume as your order your first month. So if you have 100 right now, you're going to want to get 100 more. If you have 200 right now, you don't have to do anything at all. And in your back office, you can look at your rank and you want to make sure it says executive. For countries outside of the United States, you need a 90 BV order as your personal order your first month. Now, once you've done that, you've ensured that you're maximizing your earnings from day one. Next is setting up your auto ship. If you're not familiar with what an auto ship is, it's a simple and convenient way to have products shipped to your door each and every month without you having to manually place orders. To maintain your executive status, you want to have an auto ship that is a 90 BV order each month. Some of the other important reasons why you want to be on auto ship is because you need products to consume, sample, and sell. You also want to develop a personal story. If I use a product and then I have an amazing experience, maybe I feel better, I look better, I lost weight, I have more energy, that's a powerful story that I can use to share with others. And it's very easy to build a business when you have a story that you can share. And lastly, being on auto ship will earn you what we call loyalty rewards, which is up to 30% back on all of your purchases. So over the course of a year, you will have accumulated hundreds of dollars worth of free product that you can redeem. Now that you've become an executive and you've set your auto ship up, it's important to set up your payment options and your rotator. When you're in your My Daily Choice back office, click on payment options and it'll take you to a page with different options depending on which country you're in. Fill out your information so that when you earn your first commission, your payment options are already set up. It's important to do this the very first day that you enroll into the business so you don't miss any pending commissions. Secondly, you want to set your rotator. Because we have a binary compensation plan, you're going to have 2 teams, a left team and a right team. Your rotator will dictate where people are placed in your organization. My recommendation is to start out on alternate, which will place people evenly on both your left team and your right team. Once you have a team that starts to take off and becomes bigger than the other team, then you can go back to your rotator, reset it to allocate people to your other team. Don't put everybody just on the left team. Don't put everybody just on the right team. You want to stay as balanced as possible. Now that you've done the basic setup of your business, it's time to get ready to promote your website. When you go into your back office, you're going to see a tab called My Website, which will show you a list of capture page funnels as well as your replicated MDC website. You can promote your business through just one of these websites, or you can use multiple. The easiest way to understand and how to position your websites is based on who you're talking to. For example, if you're talking to prospects who are interested in the business, they'll likely need the business tour or a presentation. So you want to send prospects through your capture pages. If you're talking to somebody who's ready to buy products or they want to shop, read information on their own, send them to your MDC website. Make sure that you know your username, write down your URLs so that you're ready to share. As you promote your website to new affiliates and customers in your business, it's important to know how to hit the first rank. The first rank in My Daily Choice is called 1K affiliate, and this should be your goal. To achieve 1K affiliate, you need to generate 1,000 BV in your enroller tree with no more than 50% coming from each leg, and you just need 3 people that you've personally sponsored at a 90 BV order. So there's 2 really simple ways that you can do this. The first way is you could enroll 5 new affiliates at the full-time option. The full-time option or the full-time level is one of the options on the business tour or on the My Daily Choice website under Get Started. This option generates 200 BV. So bringing on 5 new people at that level gives you 1,000 BV, and just like that, boom, you're a 1K affiliate. The second way is by enrolling 2 new affiliates at the all-in level, which generates 500 BV. Because you need 3 personally enrolled to qualify for 1K, you're going to need an additional customer or an affiliate on a 90 BV order. So 2 affiliates at all-in, 1 customer or affiliate on a 90 BV order. You do that, and you're also a 1K affiliate. When doing either of these options, you will earn $500 in Jumpstart bonuses and $100 for ranking to 1K affiliate. Some people do this their first few days in the business. Some people do this their first week. Some people do it their first month. Your goal is to do this as quickly as possible and then teach your new people to do the same exact thing. This is how you create duplication in your team. So we've covered getting started, setting up your business, promoting your website, and hitting your first rank. Now we're going to talk about best practices, and we're going to start with mindset. There's many skills to master in network marketing, but it's critical to master mindset to ensure your success. First one, know your why. Look, there's a lot of reasons why people get into this type of business. Some are here to free up their time. Some are here to work from home. Some are here because they just have a dream vacation they want to go on. Some want to pay off their debt. Like I said, there's so many reasons why people get into this business. My recommendation to you is to figure out what that reason is and write it down. Write down your why and make sure that that reason is powerful enough and big enough where nothing will stop you from achieving this goal. Second, treat this like a business. Because network marketing doesn't require a degree, because you don't have to have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started, you don't have to send anybody your resume, it's a blessing and it's a curse. It's a blessing because it's one of the greatest opportunities on the planet. It's an amazing business model. It's a curse because not everybody treats this like a business. If you treat this like a real business, it'll pay you like a real business. If you treat this like a hobby, you'll be paid like a hobby. And most hobbies don't make people money. Lead by example. When you get started in this business, you're in a position of leadership. The people that you're bringing into the business, they're looking up to you for answers. You're their leader. You're their mentor. So it's important that you lead by example. A simple principle is that don't ask anyone in your team to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Put things into practice, then lead your team to do the same. Never stop enrolling. This is a really important one. Never take your foot off the gas when it comes to prospecting and enrolling new affiliates and customers. This is the lifeblood to your business, bringing in, new activity, driving sales. So never stop enrolling. Don't reinvent the wheel. This is a big mistake that people make in this business. At My Daily Choice, we've built a duplicatable marketing system. We've got some of the most amazing tools in the industry. Almost everything that My Daily Choice has to offer is 100% free. But a big mistake that people make when they join is they start reinventing the wheel. They go into busy work. And I'll give you an analogy. Let's say that I had the perfect recipe for baking a delicious cake, and I was the best at it. I mastered it. And I mastered it through decades of experience and practice. And then someone who wants to learn exactly how to do what I do started changing the recipe. They started changing the ingredients. It wouldn't come out the same way. So don't come into the business and start designing slide decks, building your own system, building blogs, designing websites, putting together an entire sales binder, and doing all of the things that are going to waste your time. Plug into the system that's working and work smarter, not harder. And keep it simple. Simplicity is what creates duplication. When there's an easy system to follow, people will duplicate. A confused team takes no action. As you mentor and lead others, make sure to keep things simple for them. Teach them how to promote their capture page, their MDC website, and direct them to this training video. Always stay positive. This is a tough one for people in this industry. One of the most challenging things is to stay positive over time, because in this business, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be challenges. Not everything always goes as planned. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. There are highs, there are lows. But the worst thing that you can do as an affiliate, especially if you have a team, is to be negative to them. Okay? If you get anything from this training, write this one down. The worst thing you can do to your organization is being negative, being cynical, being a downer, complaining about things. You're, once again, as a leader, your team's looking up to you for inspiration. They're looking up to you for you to lead the way. If you're negative, your team's going to be negative. That is the fastest way to destroy your momentum. So always be the person where the glass is half full, not half empty. Stay positive and encourage your team to do the same. And lastly, the last one on this slide, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yes, you want to sprint fast. You want to get to the top. You want to make a lot of money. You want to have a lot of success. But this is a marathon. You need to have a marathon mentality. If your goal is to come into this business and see how things go for a couple months, 3 months, chances are you're not going to make it in this industry. This is network marketing, direct sales. This is really kind of a 3 to 5 year plan. All of the most successful people that I've met in this industry have been in the same company for a minimum of 3 to 5 years. They work it for 3 to 5 years, and then they reap the rewards. Unlike a job, nobody here can fire you. You don't have a boss. The only person who can fire you is you. So give the business enough time that it needs to develop and mature, and then stay in the game long enough, because those are the people that usually have the most success. Best practices, make your list. This is a great practice because they say that the money is in the list. Make a list of at least 25 names that you can reach out to. And look, this is just a minimum. If you're a go-getter, go for 50, go for 100, go for more. But at a minimum, make a list of at least 25 names. Now, here's a couple things that you can use to jog your memory. Who do you love spending time with the most? Who likes making money? Who do you know who's entrepreneurial? Who do you know who's influential? Who owns a business? Who's the sharpest person that you know? Who has a lot of friends? Who's well connected? Who manages a team? Who's in sales? Who sells real estate? You can find a memory jogger in the launch pad in your back office. The most important thing is you put this list of 25 people together and you do not prejudge anyone. Write this down. Do not prejudge anyone. Don't say, well, you know what? This person has too much money, or this person doesn't have the time, or, this person's a doctor, so he's not going to be interested. Don't make decisions for people. Let people make decisions for them. So again, don't prejudge anyone. Put everyone on the list. I love talking about this one. A best practice is sorting. There's a misconception in this industry. And the misconception is that only the people that are great at sales make money. And that's really not the case at all. It certainly helps to have sales skills, but what's more important is learning how to sort. It's learning how to get prospects to the information, how to qualify those prospects, and then sort for the ones that are right for your business and which that aren't. And this is how you build your dream team in your organization. You're sorting for the affiliates that you want to partner with. Some people, they get into this business and they start begging people to join their team. They act out of desperation. Don't do that. Sort for the ones that you want to partner with. And there's a couple key points. The key to enrolling is successful exposures. All this means is you need to get the information to a lot of people. You need to talk to a lot of people. The more people you talk to, the more money you make. The less people you talk to, the less money you make. Talk to no one, expose no one, make no money. The second one is some will, some won't, some wait, so what next? This really helped me in my career. I got too hung up on the people who didn't join the business, and I got discouraged very quickly. And if you look at this line, some will, some won't, some wait, so what next? You want to focus on the so what next. Okay, write that down. You want to focus on the so what next. Your goal is to get people the information. It's their choice whether they want to get started. But as a professional sorter, your goal is quality and speed. You're looking to go as fast as you can and sort for the quality, the right people for your business. And then the third one, pretend you're a waiter serving coffee. If you were a waiter serving coffee, just imagine that for a second, and your boss said, you know what, I'm going to give you double the income today for every cup of coffee that you serve. Every cup of coffee poured, you're going to get double the money. So you start going around, you start pouring coffee. Coffee, sir. Coffee, ma'am. Coffee, sir. Coffee, ma'am. And you're going around the restaurant trying to pour as much coffee as you can. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, I'd love a cup of coffee. And some people are going to say no. But when someone says no, I don't want coffee, you wouldn't do this in a million years. You wouldn't pressure them by saying, you know what? What do you mean you don't want coffee? Are you serious? Are you dumb? This is the best coffee in the world. You would never do that, but it happens all the time in network marketing. People forget to sort. They start pressuring, they start convincing, they start selling, and they stop sorting. So your goal is to sort as fast as you can. Don't pressure people. Don't convince people. Don't do that in your business. Don't pressure the ones who aren't interested. Sort for the ones who are. Now that you know how to sort, let's talk about the different types of people you're going to encounter as you're promoting your website, as you're prospecting, and as you're sorting. Because if you understand who you're talking to, this will help you sort faster. So we're going to use apples as an analogy. They're red apples, they're green apples, and they're rotten apples. Let's cover each one. Red apples. These are people who are positive, entrepreneurial. These are risk takers. They're go-getters. After they watch the online tour, the presentation, a video, or they see the website, they check things out and they're ready to get started. These are the best type of people for your business. What you want to do is spend 80% of your time talking to and working with red apples. Basically, this is where the majority of your time should be spent. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time should be spent working with red apples, but it's about 20% of the people out there. So the action to take with red apples is to send them into your website and direct them to the join options. Green apples, these are people who are technical. They're detail oriented. They have lots of questions. They want all the information. They want the data. These are not people that are bad for your business, but they can be very time consuming if you don't manage them correctly. The mistake that a lot of people make in this business is they spend the majority of their time working with green apples. Okay, so what winds up happening is they spend all of their time answering questions. They spend all of their time going through the details, and they miss out on getting the red apples who are ready to run. So what you want to do is spend 20% of your time with green apples and encourage them to do their own due diligence. Go to the website, review the information. In other words, don't start an FAQ session. Don't spend hours and hours answering questions. Send them into the information and let them make a decision if this is right for them. Rotten apples. Unfortunately, look, you're going to get some no's in this business. Rotten apples usually have had a bad experience in network marketing. They may have a negative outlook on entrepreneurship, or maybe they're just simply not interested. Sometimes these are the people that are closest to you. Now look, let me make it clear. You can write this down. These are not rotten people. If they're the people closest to you, of course they're not rotten people. When I first got started in this profession, my family, my friends, my coworkers, they were the most, negative compared to anybody that I talked to. They were all rotten apples, but they're not rotten people. The business just wasn't right for them at the time. So spend 0% of your time trying to convince rotten apples why this is right for them. And it goes back to, you as a waiter serving coffee. If somebody says, no, I'm not interested in coffee right now, don't pressure them to get started. It's not going to serve you well. Let them come around when things change. Now, here's something you're definitely going to want to write down, really important. You're going to come across the most rotten apples your first 90 days in the business when you're brand new. The more success that you have in this business, the more red apples you encounter. Because think about it. If you're wildly successful in the company, how could somebody be so negative to you? If you've already made it, if you've already had success, how could somebody be negative about what you're doing? It doesn't happen. The more success you have, the less rotten apples you come across, and the more red apples you come across. And here's another thing. Every rotten apple has a little bit of green in them. Okay, so somebody's super negative, and then you start to have a lot of success, and now that person that was previously negative, maybe it's a family member or a friend or a coworker, now they have questions. You've piqued their interest. There's curiosity. And now you can have more of a conversation with them, when they're technical or when they have questions or their interest is piqued. And every green apple has a little bit of red in them. So in other words, the more successful you become, the rotten apples will turn green and they have questions. And green apples, over time, even though they have a lot of questions, there's red in them where they will pull the trigger when they're comfortable. So your goal is to get people the information, don't count anybody out, but spend your time wisely and continue to sort. Please make sure everybody in your team watches this video before they do anything else so they have the same foundation that you do. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the top.